right, looks like we are up and live on Facebook, or just about to be. So we'll go ahead and start this meeting off. Again, let me make sure we're good to go and that we are running live here. It looks like we are. Boom, and we are. All right, folks, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this meeting real quick. What we're doing is we're actually doing a meeting tonight on managing Forex expectations. The plan is also to be able to record this and have it on our YouTube channel so that people can review it and go back to it. This is probably, if you are a new trader or an experienced trader or someone who's not profiting from the market, this is probably going to be one of the most important sessions that you could possibly be on, because we're going to talk about, again, expectations as a trader, okay? Very, very important concepts. We're going to show you what trading actually means, why it is of benefit for you to trade. We're going to give you a couple tools and resources that you can activate and use that are absolutely free, that you should be doing on a regular basis, and then show you specifically how you can develop a game plan for trading, okay? And that's a pretty important thing. Literally, most people who trade have no idea of what the end goal is. It's a very arbitrary number. It's a very arbitrary concept. It's a very arbitrary idea. And most people, when they come into trading, what happens is during that process of being a new trader, when you begin to see the first couple trades go into profit, when you begin to see aggressive compounding sheets that are based off of huge returns on the market on a daily basis, and you begin to think to yourself, oh my God, I'm going to be rich, right? Oh my God, I'm going to be rich, and I'm going to be rich in I'm going to be rich in, like, I don't know, a month or two, okay? And that's just not the case, right? I'm going to be rich in 6 months. I'm going to be rich in 9 months. And is that, I guess, potential there for some people? Yes. Has it ever happened for some people? It has. But the majority of people, that is an unrealistic time frame for them when they're looking to participate in the market, when they're looking to use Forex as a means, whether it's a cash cow, it doesn't matter, to change their life, whatever it is. And so what we wanted to do is be able to set people from day one onto the correct course and onto the correct thinking about Forex. And so I love being able to talk to people. Oh, let me turn that off, because if I don't close that, it's going to be asking me to go get money over and over and over again. So if I don't, for instance, talk to you guys about this, what's going to happen is a lot of people, when they come in, they're just misconstrued. They don't know where or what they're going to do. And a lot of people, always talk about get rich quick schemes. I'm so nervous. Is it a get rich quick scheme? Is it one of those things? And what I love about what we do is literally, for the first time in your life, you can say, yes, it is a get rich quick scheme. And by get rich quick, I simply mean that you can take a small amount of money with consistent gains over a period of time, 2 to 5 years, you can turn that account into something significant. And for most people, they have nowhere else in the world where they can do that. And so when I look at that, if I look at taking a $500 account to 7 figures over 3.5 years, that's getting wealthy very, very quickly. Because for most people, if you just analyze your last 3.5 years, where most people are not any wealthier than when they started. In fact, because of inflation, taxes, global health crisis, other stuff, a lot of people are less wealthy than they were 3.5 years ago. So what I find interesting about Forex in particular is when people come here, they have such a lottery ticket mentality that they literally miss the entirety of the value that's provided here. So, Jiz, to answer your question, no, I can't double share. I already started that, and I would have to stop and do something totally different. So I'm going to be unable to do that. I apologize. Um, so what I like here is setting people on the correct path from the start. Okay, so we said that, and let me just get into it. So again, my name, folks, is Andre English. I've been trading now for about 20 months, and I wish I would have had someone have this conversation with me 20 months ago when I started. Okay, because my trading would be so much further along if someone would have given me a realistic expectation as to what I could expect, and a realistic expectation as to it's okay to just grow your account a little bit at a time. And instead of having to feel the emotional feeling of like I have to constantly be in the market, I have to constantly be trading, I have to constantly be looking to get some kind of unrealistic gains. Okay, unrealistic gains. And so I'm excited about what I'm going to share with you, because comes from hard won experience in the market. This is literally taking my life's blood and my money that I lost in the market and translating it into a lesson for you, so that you don't have to repeat what I did, and so that you can start on a course of action from the beginning that will allow you 20 months from now to be so much further ahead than you ever possibly could be. And so I'm fired up about it. All right. I get passionate about this subject. If anybody knows me, they know that we talk about this all the time, because this is really the foundation brick. This is the piece that most people are missing within the trading space. This is really the nuts and bolts of what you're going to need to do in order to become a successful trader. So I came across some of these concepts through trial and error. And then what I loved about it is that as I began to discover these concepts on my own, I was able to validate them by going back to the academy that I work with and seeing that the top educators were actually talking about these same things. Now, the reason why I say that is because for those of you who are attached to the academy, Andre English was a dumb student. Okay, let me explain to you what I mean. I was a dumb student because I was an arrogant student. Okay? Because I was a cocky student. Because the one thing I do have is a lot of self-confidence. And that self-confidence in the trading space manifested itself in the wrong way, or in a way that slowed my growth rather than enhanced it. And so what happened for me is when I came into this space, I went through, I don't know, maybe the first 25 videos of the academy, 25, 30 videos of the academy that we had. I ate that up in one weekend. And then I started to trade live. I traded demo for a day or two only. And sort of the best thing and worst thing that happened to me is that in that process of trading demo, I proved that trading could work, because on my very first day, I caught like 130 pips in the market, and I had no clue as to what I was doing. I didn't even know how to use TradingView. I didn't even know how to switch it to candlesticks from the line graph. Like, I literally knew nothing. But what I said to myself is, I'm trading demo and I'm killing this thing. So obviously I'm going to kill this market. So I went in, I studied a couple days. I got with the person who brought me in. I said, look, I'm ready to go live. They helped me go live. Now, literally, when I say that I was so green and so new, I didn't even realize that if I transferred money from my account to my crypto wallet, because back then the only way that you could fund a broker was through crypto wallets, right? So I transferred money into a crypto wallet and I left my money sitting there as Bitcoin. And then I traded over the weekend in my demo account. And then I transferred the money from my from my wallet to my actual broker. What I didn't even realize, I was so green, I didn't even understand that Bitcoin had price fluctuations. So my initial deposit was reduced by 30% because the price of Bitcoin dropped while my money was sitting in that wallet, right? And so there's so many things that I didn't know and no one really warned me about. So I took that L. I said, no problem. I got started trading. And what happened was I began to get addicted to these. What we had was like a 90-day spreadsheet, at that time, which was promoting 10% growth per session, okay? Or per trade, excuse me, not even per session, per trade, okay? And so I started to look at that, and what it caused me to do was be dramatically over leveraged in my account. And we'll talk about that in a second, about how that caused over leveraging. But what happened is I would start on that journey on that spreadsheet, and I would get just enough into that spreadsheet that belief of the possibility of completing it would become reality, right? It would set in for me. So I would get, say, 32 trades in, 33 trades in, and I would see my account growing, and then all of a sudden, boom, I would lose all my money on my next trade, okay? And so I was using these 90-day spreadsheets because that's what my mentor used at the time, not realizing that my mentor was extraordinarily well capitalized, right? The person who brought me in was extraordinarily well capitalized, where I wasn't nearly as well capitalized. I couldn't afford to take a loss, right? Every trade meant something to me. And what happened was when I took an L, it really hurt. And I also needed to have my money compounding because I needed my money to grow. So that's another part of managing Forex expectation, is your mindset. And from what area are you trading? Are you trading from lack and trading from needs? Or are you trading from a position of you understand the long-term game of what it is that you're doing, right? So long story short, because I got with the person who brought me in, I began to use the strategy that they were trading. I would have success and then losses, success and then losses, but enough success to convince me that I was trading the right way, that I was doing what I should do, and then I would have major losses, success, major losses. And this began to happen over and over and over for several months. Throughout that process, I then also began to work with a partner of mine, and we began to see some different ideas within that strategy that sort of complemented the strategy that we were using. And we set on and embarked on the process of creating our own strategy. Now, I want you to understand how asinine this really is. Okay. Now, we weren't thinking of it this way, but here we were as what we would call intermittently successful traders, developing our own strategy. Okay. Developing our own strategy. We took almost 8 months of hard work and effort, really focused, 8 to 10 months, really focused on bringing that strategy to fruition. We actually got it to the point where it went like 400-0 or something ridiculous like that on the strategy. And then the 401st trade wiped out all the profits. And then the 402nd trade, and third, and all of a sudden the market shifted, things changed, and the strategy was no longer producing at the same rate of profitability that we wanted it to do. And we were looking to find answers to how to figure out what stop loss, what could do. And everything that we back tested proved that no matter how far you went with this strategy, eventually you would get wiped out. And so we wasted time. We wasted time. Now, I want you to understand why this is important, because throughout the whole course of that time, I had IM educators in the IM Mastery Academy that I'm attached to who were making 6, 7, and 8 figures and calling trades live for people that entire time. And so if I would have had the discipline of not trying to complete my 90-day spreadsheet or my 90 trade spreadsheet as quickly as possible and take my account from $100 to $100,000 in 3 quick months, if I would have understood what I'm doing and what it actually means to be able to get in and get with someone who knows what they're doing and has a proven track record, and I would have just taken the trade that they offered every day and grew my account by a small percentage, right now, 20 months in, I probably would have had an account from 100,000 into the mid 6 figures just by following proper, right? Just by following proper trade guidelines. And I did not understand that. Okay. So the reason why these spreadsheets were circulating around and so addictive is because we have 2 things. Forex is sexy. Forex is sexy. I'm gonna give you all the truth on this because I'm recording this for us to be able to use going into the future, right? For our team. Oh shoot, no, I'm not. I'll have to get it off the live. Forex is sexy, and so what that means simply is this, right? It means that because it's sexy and attractive, and there are people who convert money from a small amount to a large amount in a short period of time, is just enough people to do that to attract you into the world of Forex. And it brings you in almost like the idea of a lottery ticket. There's just enough people winning the lottery to be able to say, you know what, I'm willing to throw my hand and, put my dollar in, put $10 in, whatever it may be. Just enough of that gambling mentality. And so what happens is these spreadsheets evolve because it's used to attract you into an industry that seems sexy. Why is that important? Well, because this industry is growing rapidly. We also are part of a company that actually talks to people about bringing them in. Now, these spreadsheets are not put on by the company. The company doesn't endorse these spreadsheets, but somehow during this time, and our company has done a tremendous job of sort of cleaning this idea up, right? And helping people have proper expectations and helping direct people back to the academy so that their expectations can be maintained at a proper level. But at the time that I started, these spreadsheets were used in order to also attract new students and new customers to the company. And I can tell you what, it set so many people into the wrong path, and it set so many people into the wrong thought process about trading. And so many people that I've known have had such a hard time of unlearning the wrong way to trade. And they have literally lost money over and over and over again, and they continue to do so because they refuse to come back to what I'm going to teach you today. See, I'm not that guy. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to find a way to say, hey, listen, I'm plugging the hole in the boat. And so what I'm going to do tonight is give you the plug. I'm going to tell you how to stop this from happening. I'm going to tell you how to think properly about your Forex journey so that as you begin to trade, you can begin to make money. So first thing, if you want to succeed, we're going to develop a game plan. I'm going to talk to you about how to do that, right? How to put together a game plan that works and is tailor-made specifically for you, okay? But if you want to win in the market, here's the very first thing that I recommend that you do. I recommend that you trade in your demo account for as long as physically possible. And number 1A associated with that, I recommend that as you're plugged into the I Am Mastery Academy, that your live account is used to copy, paste, and profit. Okay? Your live account, the one that you actually take your money, pick your own broker, take your money, fund your broker, and you begin to trade in that account. You are not taking your own trade ideas in that account. That account is specifically designed to allow our world-class educators and traders to help you make money, to put money back in your pocket. Okay? So, for instance, for those of us who are right now in the HFX Academy, one of the people that our team trades with is Matty Pips. Matty Pips comes on Wednesday and Thursday nights. He also comes on Sunday nights. Sunday night, he does a strategy session. He is an HFX educator, okay? He does a strategy session going over his strategy, going over HFX fundamentals. He does that on Sunday night. Wednesday and Thursday, they're called get paid sessions. And during those sessions, what he does, and by the way, here he is a 7-figure trader. He went and hit 7 figures as a trader live in front of everybody. This is not a fake account. This is not some BS. This is a dude who took $500 and over the course of 300 trading sessions or something like that, right? So basically a year and a half, he took that $500 and turned it into over 7 figures right in front of our face, okay? Now imagine if you would have been taking the trades with him as he was calling trades over and over and over again. Imagine how that could have profited you. So those sessions, what he does is he's going to scan the market using his strategy, and he's going to call cash trap, which he teaches you how to use on Sunday nights. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to go into the market and you're going to begin to trade with him on that trading session. Usually lasts about an hour. You're in the market for 2 hours a week with him. And then maybe you might want to trade 1 or 2 times a week with Ness Vasquez, who is the king of HFX, the guy who started our HFX Academy, right? Who also, in front of his whole team live, used to be on YouTube. You can see the video of him hitting $1 million on the trade live when it happened in front of his entire team, right? And so here he is, and now he has got a multiple 6-figure account. Last time I saw him open his account live, it was multiple 7 figures, and he's trading off of that account. And so what happens is you can take his trades. That's number one, okay? So again, education and taking a master's trades. This is the number one thing that's going to get you prepped properly. You're only taking trades from the traders. Now, in your demo account, that's where you're going to begin to apply the knowledge that you're learning. That's when you're going to begin to say, okay, I have a few minutes now. I can go into the market. I can look into the market, and I can begin to take the trades that I see, where I say, you know what, this is a good trade idea. This is a good trade setup, and you're going to begin to take it. You're going to stay in your demo account until you can double or triple your demo account. In other words, or you can double it 2 or 3 times. So if you started with a $1,000 demo account, you go from 1,000 to 2,000. You go from 2,000 to 4,000, and 4,000 to 8,000, and maybe even 8,000 to 16,000. You have now been able to successfully prove that the trade ideas that you see are making money. This will prevent you from blowing your own money. Now, the only way you're going to blow your own accounts on the other side of things when you're trading with the professional trader is if you get greedy and you over leverage your accounts, because all of a sudden you see that they've called several trades in a row that hit and you're trying to compound your money faster. And so all of a sudden you get greedy, you change your lot size, and it just so happens that that's the next trade that happens and they lose that trade, because no one's perfect in the Forex market. And so you got to understand that greed kills. Greed kills. All right. So that's where we're going to start from. I want you to understand that you need to be able and willing to take trades from people who already have proven that they make money consistently and have proven that the trades that they call for tens of thousands of people through the academy. We have almost 300,000 students. You got to imagine the responsibility of calling a trade knowing that 10,000 people might take that trade idea. That means that you have to be confident, you have to be competent, and you have to be proven in what you're doing in order for them to be vetted and cleared to have that responsibility for our academy. Why wouldn't you take those trades? It is the fastest way for you to succeed in Forex. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, when we began using these spreadsheets, all of a sudden, I started to say, something's not right here. One trade is just knocking you completely out. And so one of the things that you're going to need to understand is also something called risk versus reward. We've done a little bit about that, and you're going to need to understand how to leverage properly. And we'll talk about that so that you don't over leverage. Okay. So we want you to be able to understand those things. And what I found is that I began watching a series on YouTube called like Legends of Trading or something like that. And it was going over sort of the best traders, day traders in history. And what I found was that the best traders in the world, the ones that companies, that people, that they give them hundreds of billions of dollars under management, 10 billion, 50 billion, 100 billion of dollars under management in order to grow. The best traders in the world are considered elite if they can return 25% a year. They are considered off the charts if they can return 25% a year. And we have people that are trying to get 25% a day, 10% a day. They're trying to outperform Warren Buffett, and you have been in the academy for 2 weeks, 2 months. And so there are some unique differences that we have that allow us to be successful and get slightly higher returns. Mainly, we are trading our own money and no one else's money. So we don't have to diversify our risk across so many different trades as these big established companies do. They can't put all their money in one position, right? And so there's so many different rules and factors that do allow us to outperform that, but that we have to have an understanding that we're still looking to grow our account at a reasonable rate. And if we do that, we're going to get unreasonable returns. Okay? And so I want you to understand that. This is important. All right, so let's talk a little bit about risk versus reward. Let's talk a little bit about leverage. We're going to go ahead and get our screen share up. Folks, I encourage you right now to get your pen and paper out, okay? This is the part where you're going to learn, and this is the part where we're going to talk about different things, all right? We're going to go over some concepts, and then I'm going to show you some stuff on the compound calculator. Then we're going to talk about how to develop your own game plan. But this is what we're coming into this thing to talk about, okay? So let's understand a couple things. Risk versus reward. Now, this is a especially true concept for regular Forex pairs, not so much for HFX, because HFX is very clearly defined, okay? But what I want you to understand when you're looking at trades and you're looking at different concepts, I want you to understand what makes sense, okay? So let's just say that we have a trade on gold British pound USD, or GU as it's commonly called. And our trade has an entry price of 1.4001, whatever, something like that, right? Okay, and it's in a buy. We're in a buy, and it's telling us that our TP is going to be 1.4041, something like that, right? Or let's make it easy. Let's make the math easy, because I want everybody to be able to understand this. Let's just make the math super easy. We'll make it super easy. We'll use GJ as an example instead. We're going to make the math super easy. I want everybody to be able to see this. So we're going to talk about GJ, anything with the Japanese yen, because it's so easy, all right? So 145.000, that's our entry price, okay? And we're supposed to go in for a buy, and our take profit is 145.400, all right? So 40 pips. Now watch this. Watch this. Our stop loss, then, let's say our stop loss is 144.900, which is 10 pips below. So that means our stop loss is 10 pips. So our risk is 10 pips. Our reward is 40 pips. Do you see that? So this is our risk. This becomes our reward. This means you have a 1 risk to 4 ratio. This means that you can literally lose more than you win and you can still be profitable. So when you're going into the market, you're looking for trades that are going to give you great risk to reward returns, okay? So what does this mean? Let's say out of 10 trades, you lost 6 times. Excuse me, you lost 6 times. So you went 4 out of 10. Okay? So that means because you risked 10 pips every time, that means you lost 60 pips. Okay? Now, on the 4 that you won, you hit 40 pips of take profit. So that means you went 40%, you won those trades. 40 times 4 is 160 pips that you hit in profit on those trades. If you subtract the 60 that you lost, that means you still ended up 100 pips in profit over that course of 10 trades, and you sucked at trading. I hope y'all caught that. I know I went through it fast. There's a lot of math, a lot of jargon going on there. But essentially what I'm showing you is that if you look for trades that have proper risk to reward ratio, you do not have to be a competent trader to win in the market. You could be below 500. Now imagine if you can begin to develop the skill and get this up to 6 or 7 out of 10 wins. Imagine what that does for your profitability. Is it possible to do that with education, with time, with experience? Absolutely. With mentorship, with guidance? Absolutely. But what I'm showing you is on day one as a beginning trader, you're looking for trades that have a great risk to reward ratio. Because we know that you're going to make mistakes in the market, this still gives you the opportunity to win and be profitable. Now, I'm giving you this information because there's going to be a time when maybe you're maybe on the call or on the training session that you're on, they call a trade and the risk to reward doesn't work out in your favor as much as you'd like it to. You can pass on that trade. You do not have to take every trade. In fact, what we want you to do is take minimal trades. We want you to be able to figure out how to diversify your risk on your trades and protect your account. Protect your account, okay? So this is talking about risk versus reward. You can do this with any figure you want, but you can understand that that's a 1-to-4 ratio. I wanted to make the math easy, right? Make the math easy so that you could understand what that means. So what that means for you is that you don't ever want to have, another key, you don't ever want to have more than 3% of your account at risk, okay, at any one time. So what does that mean? That means if you're in one trade at a time, the most you would have risked or your stop loss, right, is 3% of the total of your account. So let's say your account balance, making the math easy, was $100. 3% of $100 is $3. So what I want to do right now is I want to teach you something, because there's those of you who are coming into this space who are worried that you're going to lose all your money. You've heard a story of someone who went completely broke and bankrupt. You've heard all of those people were incredibly greedy if that happened. Because if you're only risking 3% of your account, is it likely that you're going to blow your account on one trade? No, it's not. In fact, you would have to lose 33 trades in a row in order to blow your account. And if you're continuing to use the 3% ratio, it would actually be more than 33 trades, because as your account began to lessen, you would change this from $3 to $2, eventually down to $1, giving yourself even more trades. So the likelihood that you're going to blow your account is false. It's a false narrative. The only way that exists is if you refuse to use proper risk management. And if you refuse to do that, there's nothing that the academy, myself, our team, or anybody can do for you. That's on you. That's because you're greedy. That's because you're trying to scratch off Forex like a lottery ticket. Okay? 3% means that the most that you're risking is $3 on that one trade. Now, if you happen to have, sorry about that, folks. If you happen to have 3 trades out, that would mean that each trade was 1% of your account. 1% of your account. So on that case, your stop loss would be at $1. $1. $1. The total amount that you have at risk at any one time is 3% of your account. So how does this translate to you? How does this translate when you're talking about risk? And what was I doing where I was over leveraged when I was trading? First thing when I was doing was I was trading without a stop loss. Immediate over leverage. Immediate over leverage. No stop loss, you're over leveraged. All right. So here's the situation. If you had $100 and your risk could only be $3, that's 3%. That would mean that if you were trading a 0.01 lot size, okay, lot, which is a penny, that would mean that if you got 10 pips of profit or of loss, whichever way it went, it would equal $1. Okay, so that means that in order for you to hit that $3 ratio, trading that lot size, that means that you could only have a stop loss of 30 pips. Okay, so if we wanted to have a good trade ratio, let's say 1 to 3, 1 to 4, that would mean that if our stop loss was 30 pips, that's 1, then we would want to have our take profit at either 90 pips or 120 pips in order to give us a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 ratio, right? Because why? 30 times 3 equals 90, 30 times 4 equals 120. So you get the point, okay? So this means that this will help you see what kind of trades that you should be getting into and what is your stop loss. Now watch this. If you wanted to, let's say the trade you were trading DeLorean and they called a 15 pip stop loss. Well, that means you could take this 0.02 lot, right? Because times 15 pips, it would equal $3. So now you could actually take a larger position, but you're still respecting your stop loss of only 3% of your account, okay? Larger position means you're going to make double the money. So this is a good position to be in. So you're looking for trades that are going to give you those type of risk to reward ratios. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys are getting that. So that risk to reward is important. Now, why was I over leveraged? Well, because I was taking a $100 account and instead of trading 0.01, I was trading 0.10 or 10 cents. Now, using that same criteria, I could never only risk 3%. I automatically had 10% at risk. But if I did the same 30 pip stop loss for my stop loss, that would mean that I would lose $30 versus losing $3 because I was over leveraged trying to get rich quick on a 90-day run or a 90 trade run in order to get myself to gain 10% on every trade, and I was losing after a while, okay? On top of that, I wasn't trading with the stop loss at all, so I would be trying to get 10 pips in profit, okay? I would try to get 10 pips as my take profit, but sometimes my trade would go 90 pips in the negative. So that means I have a reverse ratio, right? I don't have a good risk to reward ratio. I risk 90 pips in order to gain 10. It doesn't make sense. It's not good trading psychology. It's not good trading math, right? And so this is where I was running into problems because I was trying to be too aggressive. And then I discovered the compound sheet. Then I discovered, okay, what can I do to do something about this? I've got to fix this. And then I went and I began to look And by just taking a look, it was a game changer for me. I had begun to stop over leveraging, right? I began to understand that I don't need just 90 trades or 90 days to create wealth. Um, and I began to use proper risk versus reward in order to make sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do and that I was doing what the academy taught me. On top of that, I began to go back into the academy and stop being arrogant and think that I'm creating my own strategy and doing my own stuff when I have the world's best Forex education right in front of me. Okay. And so I began to realize that, just like I say oftentimes when I'm talking about the academy and the presentation, that at a certain point, you have to realize that what you're doing isn't working and you need to stop taking your own financial advice. At a certain point, I had to realize that I needed to stop taking my own trades, my own trade advice, and start listening to professional traders until I could mimic and begin to do what I needed to do on my own. You have to have that self-awareness here. Okay. Now, real quick, when we're talking about mindset, this is a very important thing because what I'm about to show you is going to blow you away, and then we're going to get into a real game plan for you. Okay. But mindset is very important. If you are coming here and you are trading with your light bill, you're in trouble. If you're taking robbing Peter to pay Paul to fund your trading account, you're in trouble, because the pressure to make every trade work is going to make you make bad decisions in the market. And so what I want you to do is I want you to come here with the mindset that says, I'm getting the proper education, I'm getting the proper trade advice from the professional traders, and I am setting myself on a course to be wealthy, because if I do not decide to be wealthy, it's a decision not to be wealthy. And therefore, I understand that however old I am, 28 years old, 30 years old, 50 years old, if I'm not wealthy now, my decisions have led to where I am now. I cannot continue to do what I've always done. And so I have to make a decision to change. And I have to understand that I didn't get to where I was over 1 year's time. It took me multiple years of bad decisions to get here. So I should not expect to get out of where I am right now in 1 week, 1 month, 2 months time. That is going to take time. In fact, I don't know if y'all know this, but they say a person born into poverty, it takes 20 years of perfect financial decisions, no mistakes, no medical bills, no student loan debt, no any perfect decisions financially to lift themselves out of poverty. And what we're trying to do is show you how you can shortcut the shortcut by using this, but the shortcut is a 2, 3, 4 year process in order to create wealth. And that's incredible. So here's what I'm going to show you. Here's what I began to play around with. Oh, sorry. I began to play around with something called our compound calculator. And when I discovered this, it was an absolute game changer, folks. I want you to write this down. Compound Daily, or screenshot it, do what you need to do. compounddaily.org/calculator. This will now become your best friend. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to set this up. Here's number one. Let's say your initial amount that you have in your live account is $100. Here's what I want to show you of why what we were trying to do is unrealistic. So let's say that I could go and I could get 10% on every single trade that I did, and I could do that through the course of a year, which is roughly 260 trading days. And I reinvested everything. Let's just say I went ahead and I left the money in the account. I allowed it to compound. I didn't include weekends. And so as you'll see here, as we go through this, we're talking about from now, August 10th to next year, August 9th, my account would be $5 trillion. $5 trillion. And so when I saw that, I said, okay, there's not a soul on earth that's getting 10% every single trade, right? Because if I could get 10% every single trade, I would be in the market getting 10% every trade. I would knock out my trillion and I'd say adios, right? I go change the world with all kinds of stuff that I'm doing, right? But we don't have $5 trillion traders, okay? Now, part of it is obviously you could never get the lot size to continue to trade that amount. I realize that, so people don't come to me with the foolishness in the comments and stuff like that. I understand that. But you get the point that I'm trying to make. And so I said, okay, if that's not the case, what would it be if I got something more reasonable? What would it be if I got, say, 5% per day? I cut it in half. Well, that still became a lot of money. 1, 2, 3. Still became $32 million, right? Still became $32 million. I also didn't know a lot of people who were turning 100 into 32 million over the course of a year. And so as I began to look at this, I said, well, what happens if I begin to lower this amount? What happens if I was to get 2%? Where would I be? Well, at the end of the year, I'd be at $17,000. Now, see, folks, all of a sudden, the plan became to crystallize to me, because all of a sudden I saw something that was a stretch goal, but was still realistic. I saw something that was going to outperform my 401k, but was still something that I could see as possible, attainable, something that is quite reasonable to get to. And even if I turned $100 into $17,000, that kind of ROI is ridiculous. Your 401k is going to maybe return 6% for the whole year, if you're lucky. And so what I'm saying here is to be able to go from 100 to 17,000, that was phenomenal. And what I realized then is that I needed to stop trying to be greedy, and I needed to understand that I could reasonably take $100 and I could make $2 on day one. You see, I could reasonably go into the market and make $2 on day one, and $2.04 on day two, and $2.08, et cetera, as we began to move down this list over here. I could reasonably say to myself, that's possible. Now, at the same time, I also understood that as I'm doing this, all of my friends are going to say, bro, you made $2.25. Why are you still trading? But my friends don't know what compound interest is. They don't understand what they're doing. And so I said that once I got on a game plan, this also bulletproofed me from criticism. Excuse me. Why? Why did it bulletproof me from criticism? Very simple. Because I am now on a plan that's based off math and not hype. And I could then turn to anybody who said, bro, that's a scam, this isn't working, that's whatever. Show me what you're doing based off math, not hype. And if you got something good, I'd be willing to do that too. And nobody has that answer. See, it doesn't, Forex is, look, this shows you right here. You get 2% every day, and there's nothing that stops this from happening. There's nothing. It's nothing. It's math. It's math. 2% every day. 2% every day, and it increases and increases and compounds and compounds. 2% every day. Nothing stops it. It's math. The only thing that stops it is whether or not you got 2%. So is there going to be a day where you get 1%? Absolutely. Is there going to be a day where you take a loss? Absolutely. Is there going to be a day where you get 10%? Absolutely. But what happens is if you average 2% for 260 days, your account will go to 17,000. Now here's what's exciting. 2%. All that is 2%, it went to 17,000. Let's say that you decided at the end of that time you wanted to pay yourself $7,000 because you thought that would be reasonable. You wanted to do something, you paid yourself a little bit of money $7,000 for the year of your trading, and you started off year 2 with $10,000 and you got 2%. What happens then? Look, folks, 1.7 million based off math, not hype. Based off math, not hype. Now, here's the thing. What I love about this thing right here is that it's going to allow you, again, because we're talking about managing expectations. Some of y'all got fired up, but here's the reality of trading. There's going to be days where you wake up and don't feel like trading. There's going to be days when you want to go on vacation with your family. There's going to be days when you catch the flu. You might catch the coronavirus and be down for 3 weeks. There's going to be all kinds of scenarios that come into play. So what I love about what we have here is that we do not have to base our compound plan off perfection, because perfection is not realistic. And so if we change this number and we changed it to 200 days per year, meaning that 3 months out of the year, 3 to 4 months out of the trading year, we allowed for imperfection to come into play, we can still win. Let's go ahead and take this down now. Now we go to $100 and all of a sudden it becomes $5,000. Some of you are like, that's not that attractive, but go to any banker on planet Earth, go to any money lender on planet Earth and ask them if they can flip 100 to 5,000 over the course of the year, would they take it? They would take it all day long. All day long. In fact, your bank is trading your money in the foreign exchange market at night right now as we speak. Well, maybe not right now as we speak, but tonight they're going to trade it in the foreign exchange market, and they'll be happy to get 0.25%, 0.5% on your money, a half a percentage point on your money. They'd be happy to grow your $100 to $300 or $400 over the course of the year, because they know what it means over a decade. Because over a decade, it's not just a little bit of money. It's 10 figures, right? And so what I'm showing you is when you understand this compounding thing, when you understand what we're doing and why I set you as step number 1 to take trades from the professional traders to set you on the right course, because over the course of time, you could be in your demo account for a year and you can still be winning because your account is compounding. Now in year 2, $5,000 you decided, $5,247. In year 2, you're at $275,000. Let's say you decided to pay yourself $100,000 then. You took some money out to reward yourself, $50,000 per year, good reward, right? So now all of a sudden you had $175,000 to start with in year 3, and then boom, you grow that to over $9 million. Folks, you are just a handful of years away from having 7 figures. But I want you to understand that realistically, it's a handful of years, not months. But if that right there doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. Because what we did right there is show you math, not hype. You can change the numbers. Maybe you wanted to build in more days. Maybe you wanted to say only 180 days out of the year. Whatever it is that you want to build in, you can build that into your schedule in order to come up with a realistic game plan that you can follow step by step. You can literally go back, go on day 1, and you can then cross out $2. When you get $2 in profit, you're done trading. Why? Because once you get in the market, you want to get out with your profit as fast as possible, because the market is a fickle woman. Or a fickle man, however you want to look at it. She wants to get whatever she gave you right back. She's an Indian giver, right? And so she wants to get whatever she gave you back. So when you get something, take your ball and go home. When you hit your goal, you get out the market. This is how you manage the expectations. You're not there to get rich that day. You're not there to get rich that day. You're there to get rich over time. This is a real wealth creation tool. If you're watching this right now, I don't know where you're watching it from, but if you're watching it right now and you see this, or you come across this recording later and you're part of our team, or you go to our YouTube channel and you say to yourself, hey, listen, I want to be able to buy a house 2 years from now, and I don't know how I'm going to come up with my down payment because right now my margins are so thin. I know I could afford a $1,500 a month house payment because that's what I'm paying in rent right now, but I have no idea where I'm going to come up with a 10% down in order to put that. All of a sudden, I just showed you how over the next 2 to 3 years, you could take the $100 account, get 1 to 2% a day, and you can all of a sudden have a game plan that works, that takes you 15 to 20 minutes of market analysis every single day to be able to figure that out, to be able to place a trade. And you still built in the ability to not be perfect. And then all of a sudden, bam, you have not only your house deposit, but you can get in and renovate the house. Maybe you can pick up a rental. Like all of a sudden you have extra cash flow. If you decide that you have a business idea, but you haven't been able to get the funding for it, and you're like, man, everybody's turning me down. I went and I did the crowdsourcing thing and no one gave me any money on GoFundMe and whatever else. But you have an idea that's sound. All of a sudden, you can fund yourself. Fund yourself. Fix your own problem. Get out of your own financial mess. That's what this is. That's why this is so exciting. Now, what I'm going to show you how to do real quick is I'm going to show you how to take like a 9-month process, and I'm going to change these numbers for you a little bit. I'm going to say that you have, say, $250, let's say $300 that you can start with. Now you put it in a live account. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it from a daily goal to a weekly goal. A simple weekly goal. So what's going to happen, instead of a daily interest rate and percentage of 2, we're going to change it to 15%. So this is a little more aggressive. We're trying to get 3% a day, okay? But we're also going to show you how you can do this using HFX, okay? And I'm going to show you in a second. And here's what happens. You're over here, you're trying to get 15% per week. Now, if you did that for an entire year, that would be 52 weeks. Okay, that would be 52 weeks. But we're going to talk about maybe 36 weeks, 36 weeks, something like that. 100%, no weekends, boom. What would happen? Your $300 would turn into $45,000 in the next 9 months or so, right? You see, folks, this becomes something that's attainable. This right here allows you to miss a couple days trading and still be able to hit your weekly goal, because maybe you were sick, maybe you were out with the flu, maybe you went on vacation, maybe you didn't feel like trading for a day or two out the week. But this gives you some flexibility to be able to get in here and begin to move your account. If you didn't hit this, if it didn't get perfect, if you didn't get 15% per week and you average 11% per week over the course of that time, instead, the number's not going to be the same, but you're still going to have grown your account tremendously. You're still going to be on the path to success over the course of a year, right? Over the course of a year, how much? So let's say you averaged 11% for the whole year instead, but you did 52 weeks. It still turns into $68,000, folks. What I'm trying to show you is that there is a real plan, a realistic plan that you can follow. And that's how you manage your Forex expectations. You get yourself on a plan. Now, what I like to do with our people is I like to get them on an even more specific plan, because what I like to do is get them to start to work off of their freedom number, right? I want them to understand their freedom number. And what does that mean? Well, I like to use the same concept. So here's an idea. If I like to base my freedom number off of 200 pips a week, to be able to consistently go into the market and return 200 pips a week or 40 pips a day. Not an unrealistic thing, especially if you're trading something like indices or whatever, right? But 200 pips a week. So very simply, we want to come up with a real plan. What is your freedom number? See, remember when I started, I found that most people, what do? I want to be a 7-figure trader. I want to be a 6-figure trader. I'm going to make all this money. I'm going to make millions trading. They don't have a specific number and a specific target. They do not possess a definite chief aim. And when you set a definite chief aim and you put a target on it and you put it on the refrigerator and you put it on your laptop as your screensaver and you do those types of things, you put it on your phone, and every time you look at it, you know what you're targeting, all of a sudden you realize that you're targeting personal freedom. And what that freedom number means is simply, the way I like to describe it, is what is the number that you would have to produce from the foreign exchange market or the HFX market per week in order for you to be able to make a decision on whether or not you could walk away from your job. Now, here's what I want you guys to understand. If you make $2,000 a month, your freedom number is not $10,000 a week. Okay? That's not what your freedom number is. Your freedom number is something that's close to what your monthly total is. If you want to put a little extra on it so you have that extra security, so maybe you can use some money to pay down debt, whatever it is, you can do that. But let's just say that if your freedom number was $1,000 per week, if you made $1,000 per week, that would give you the opportunity to walk away. What we're going to do is we're going to times it times 2. And we're going to make your real freedom number now $2,000 a week. Why? Because we want your account to still be able to compound, because I just showed you the power of compounding. So now your freedom number is $2,000 a week. What does that mean that I would have to get to in order to be able to do that? What does the 200 pips translate into lot size? What lot size would I have to get to in order to trade that number? Okay, so very simply, 200 pips a week at $1 lot size, every 10 pips is $100. 100 pips then would be $1,000, and 200 pips would be $2,000. So in this case, I would need to trade $1 lot size. The reason why I want you to understand your freedom number is because even though I showed you how to compound over time, your ability to have a choice is not a 6-figure account. Your ability to have a choice and to be able to safely and responsibly trade $1 lot size is simply this. Watch this. We recommend 1 cent per $100 for regular Forex pairs. So that would mean at $1,000, you can safely trade 10 cents responsibly using the risk to reward ratio that we showed you and the proper leverage, which would mean that $10,000 account balance would allow you to trade $1 lot size and allow you to comfortably go into the market, get 200 pips every week, produce $2,000, take $1,000 out for yourself, and allow your account to grow every single week by $1,000. Meaning that over the course of 3 months, your account would now have gone from $10,000 to $22,000. Meaning that you could increase your lot size if you wanted, and you can begin to produce more. But what happens is you have a freedom number. Your freedom number in that case is $10,000. It's not the $68,000 that I just showed you. It's not the 7 figures that I just showed you. What I want you to understand is how to do this, because this right here sets you on a realistic path. This right here gets you motivated to get up every day and trade. This right here allows you to get in the market. This allows you to take the trades from the professional traders for the next couple months as you're figuring out how to trade. This right here unlocks everything for you, because maybe you don't walk away from your job, but now you're using $1,000 a week to reduce your debt to income ratio. Maybe you're setting some aside. Maybe you're buying cryptocurrencies with that money. Maybe you're buying silver. Maybe you're setting aside enough money to purchase real estate. Maybe you understand that the market or the bubble for the real estate market is about to pop and that everything is going to go on sale like it did in 2008. And now you've put yourself a position of money aside, a pool of money where you can begin to go on and participate in the greatest wealth transfer that's probably going to happen in our lifetime instead of be victimized by it. The freedom number, by using proper Forex expectations and being able to set yourself on a course to get to a reasonable number and doing it over time, not just putting $10,000 into your account and trading $1 tomorrow, because that doesn't help you develop the discipline or the confidence to walk into freedom. The reason why I put you on a 36-month course or something of that nature is so that you could begin to make the proper trades necessary in order to develop the discipline and the confidence so that you could go to your wife, your husband, your parents, whoever it may be, and say, I no longer need this job because I have proven over 6, 7, 8, 9 months that I can do this on a consistent basis. I've proven it not only to you, but more importantly, I've proven it to me. And so that now when I walk into freedom, I have the confidence to make the trade. I've developed the mental fortitude to move myself from a 0.01 lot size all the way up to $1 lot size. Because if you just jump to $1 lot size, you're going to be scared every time the market moves. You've set yourself up to win. You've set yourself up to win. So this right here is important. I want you to do this exercise for yourself. What is the weekly number that you need? Multiply it by 2. What does the lot size translate based off 200 pips? And then using 0.01 per 100, how many dollars do I need in my bank account in order to make that a realization? Folks, if you do that, Forex becomes fun. Forex becomes a game changer. If you do that and you allow the initial process to be grown by our Forex educators at the I Am Mastery Academy, Forex becomes exciting. You can hardly go to sleep. You're ready to wake up and you're ready to take advantage of the day. You're ready to go into the market. You're biting at the teeth. You're chomping at the bit come Sunday. The market's about to open again. I have a chance to change my destiny. I have a chance to free myself. I have a chance. It's not an arbitrary goal. It's a fixed number. And you know exactly what you got to do. That's how you manage your Forex expectation, folks. Now, why is HFX so popular? Why am I so focused and so excited about HFX? It's simply this, folks. Let's go here. See, HFX is great because you can literally put in 1% of your account. It's so easy to manage what it is that you need to do. So in this case, you can take an hour trading session and you can get what you need to get out of the market to get that 2%. So let's just say if we had a $100 account instead of this $25,000 account. If we had a $100 account, I would know then that my trade amount, if I wanted to have a 1% account, would be $1, right? That's what I would be trading, would be $1 on a 1% account. I come over here and I know that if I traded Euro CAD, let's say, that I'm going to earn 70 cents on that dollar if I win the trade. If I lose the trade, I know I only lost my 1%, which allows me to manage my account super well. Because if I ever lose 5% in this particular exchange, the high frequency Forex, the binary options, if I lose 5% of my account in one day, I stop trading. My goal is to get in there to make anywhere between 3 and 8% per day trading or per session. It depends on how many trades it offers me, trade ideas that it offers me. But I can put a fixed amount of time. I don't have to be staring at charts all day. I don't have to figure out how to count pips, stop losses, any of that stuff. This is why this is perfect for the new person. All I have to know is how to follow an up or a down button through the academy, learn a few other secret sauces to increase the odds of that particular thing, an up arrow or a down arrow, and I place my trades when it meets the criteria, and that's it. And more importantly, at the beginning, I'm only trading with the professional trader who's calling the trades for me, who at one point, I think last night he told us that last year he went, I think, 3 or 4 months without missing one trade. Now imagine what that would have done to your bank account. Following the rules of 1 to 3% only at risk, and having gone over the course of 3 or 4 months, maybe 4 trades, 5 trades a night, a session, right? A couple times a week. Imagine what that would have done for your bank account compared to you trying to figure it out while you trade live. And maybe you're averaging 50% or 55%. That's why I'm telling you, to manage your account properly, you also want to take advantage of our educators. So here's what happens. With that 1%, let's say I won, that trade paid 70 cents. Well, in order for me to get my 2% for the day, I know I need to make $2. So then if I hit 3 trades in a row using this system right here, all of a sudden, I would have made $2.10. I can stop trading. I hit my goal for the day. And so you can easily use your compound calculator sheet, and you can literally just walk trade by trade, again, through this process. And you're trying to get, if you were trying to get 15% for the week, let's say, let's go back to that, 15% for the week, you would come in here, let's trade it to $100 since I want to make it match what I just told you. And you would come in here and you would just say, boom, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get $15 for the week. And so if you made $2 or $3 on day one, boom, you're good to go. $2 or $3 on day two, boom. And all you do is move down that sheet, and literally once you just sit there and you wait until you've made $15 in profit, you cross that week off. You go the next week until you made $17.25, then you cross that off. And you just keep walking through, and it tells you what your balance is. You need to be at 174.90 in order to promote yourself to the next week. And you literally go week by week by week by week. And that's how you have a game plan that you follow. That's how you have confidence. That's how you have a plan. That's how you say, I have 2 years. I have no idea how I'm going to pay for my kids' college. I just showed you how. That's how you say, I'm tired of this student loan debt. I got $100,000 sitting over my head. I'll never be able to pay it off. And if I can never pay it off, I can never buy a home. And being a homeowner is one of the keys to wealth creation. And so what am I going to do? I just showed you how to pay it off. Step by step by step. I'm not even adding in the ancillary things that the Academy adds in. I'm not even talking about teaching you about cryptocurrency and how to purchase and when to purchase. I'm not even talking about accumulation of gold and silver. I'm not even talking about real estate, oil. I'm not even talking about patenting products and creating other streams of income. I haven't even mentioned the Dropshipping Academy that's about to launch. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about how you can take control of your life right now. You are one decision away. Once you step out on this process, you have to know confidently that you are now a millionaire. The bank account has not caught up, but it will, because you're making the right decisions every day and you are following a step-by-step process that no matter what, as long as you complete the process, will turn into $1 million or a 7-figure account. Folks, I hope that gets you fired up. It gets me fired up every time I talk about it. Imagine the change. Imagine how many people we can impact. Imagine we grow a team of 5,000 people right here, and all of a sudden we teach all those 5,000 people how to hit that freedom number, to give them a choice to be able to be a full-time dad like me and come home and be able to see their kids raised and instill the values that they want to put in them, and not rely on the education system or the teachers, or be able to complain about what's going on because they have a lack of resources in their school system, and they can take responsibility for it themselves because now all of a sudden they have time because they bought their life back. What could you do if you bought your life back? What could you do? Who could you become? Who else could you impact? Imagine, it's not about ranking up. We want to rank up in the company. We want to be able to access the residual income because we know a power of a residual dollar is better than an earned dollar. I understand all that. I understand that a smart student will make the academy pay for their investments. I'll say that again. A smart student will make the academy pay for their investments instead of pulling it out of their lack of disposable income that they have in their household. They'll make the academy fund their investment account. That's great. But how cool is it going to be to not only have the most people ranked up, but to have the most free people because they followed this? And so what we're going to challenge you to do is come on board with us. We're going to start September 1st. Why September 1st? Because I want you to be able to go into the last quarter of the year with a plan. I want you to have between now and September 1st to get into the academy, to educate yourself, to familiarize yourself, to place trades in a demo, to understand the culture, the vibe, the rhythm of what we're doing. And then on September 1st, we're going to launch. We're going to track it together. We're going to have a weekly call. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? We're going to track. Did you hit your goal? Did you hit your goal? Did you hit your goal? We're going to figure it out, and we are going to help you step by step walk yourself to freedom. Now, I don't know any place else that's going to do that for you. I don't know any other accountability community that's going to give you a plan that you can take, that they too themselves are using, that they can walk you through step by step in a supportive community environment that's going to help you also make great decisions with the money that you're making so that you can get out of debt, you can become debt free, and you can begin to accumulate wealth in multiple categories, multiple verticals, not just Forex. I don't know where else you're going to get that. But I'm telling you, with us, come September 1st, that's exactly what you're going to get. So what I encourage you to do, if you're seeing this right now, between now and September 1st, 2020, is to get plugged into what we're doing. Because what we're doing works. Because what we're doing is real. Because what we're doing is a proven history. Einstein talked about compound interest as the eighth wonder of the world. I think he said something like, those who don't earn it, work for it or something. I don't know. Something like that, right? The compound interest is it, folks. This, what I'm showing you, is the key. This is how you set a proper expectation. This is how you say, I don't need to come in and get rich tomorrow. I don't need to get rich tomorrow. Because the moment I start, I am rich. The moment I start, I am rich. As long as I don't do what I've done with most of the stuff in my life, which is quit along the journey. But one of the things that will help you not quit is taking the trades from the educators, only risking 1 to 3% of your account at any one time, and making sure that you don't take your own trades until you have proven that you can perform at a high level in your demo account. And if you follow those steps, folks, I'm telling you, I've gone an hour and 20 minutes on this. If you follow those steps, this will be the most important call that you ever had in your life. This will be the most important training that you ever got in your life, because what it will lead to is financial stability, security, freedom, investment. It will lead for you to be able to financially and resource-wise create a life by design of your choice, to create a legacy of design by your choice. It'll allow you to stop doing what you have to do and begin to start doing what you want to do with your life. And I don't know any more powerful message than that, folks. So I hope this made sense to you. I hope you got some value about how to do this. I hope you understand how convicted I am in the process of being able to help you. In the process to reaching my hand out and saying, hey, listen, I will help you if you're willing to help yourself. If you'll just believe in me enough, I'll believe in you until you can believe in yourself. If you understand that if you work with me, I do not become your lid. In fact, I work you and I pass you up past me to people far more successful at trading and at building a business and at investing and at buying oil and at I pass you into the greater wealth community. I pass you. I don't have to teach you about taxes and all. I pass you through. In our group, I'm not your lid. I'm the plug to help you get what you need to get in order to move your family where you need to move your family. And if you don't understand the power of that, I can't help you. I can't help you. I am fired up and I am convicted. I know that we are going to impact 5,000 families by the end of the year. I know that our company is going to break 1,000 chairmen, which you don't know what that means, but that's a big friggin' deal. I know that our company is going to impact 1 million lives before the end of 2020 that will be a part of this academy, that will be growing. I know our community is vibrant. I know our purpose is on point. I know we are doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I know that our leadership is great. I know that our personal leadership on our team is phenomenal. I know the mentorship that we have through Randy and Wanda Webb is incredible. And so I know that if you're with us, this is the right place, the right time. But I want you to ask yourself, who else gave you a game plan? Who else said, let's do it together? Who else said, let's go? $235 gets you into the academy. $175 a month is what you pay for your ongoing education. Following that game plan, priceless. Priceless. Waking up to your baby girl when she gets up, priceless. Making decisions not based on money, but based on what's the right thing to do, priceless. That's what we want to help you feel. That's what I want you to experience. I hope you understand that, folks. Listen, it's been my pleasure. I hope you got some value out of it. Thank you for your time. Y'all have a good evening.